I think one of the hardest things about, I guess, filming, or like if you have a creative idea and you want to bring it to the internet or you want to bring it to social media, it's hard because you have to like move past that part of appearance. And I think something that I remind myself, or like have to remind myself of a lot, is like, I am not that. Like, I am not my appearance. I am not this like physical body that shows up in front of you, but I'm everything like underneath it. And that is like what I should be putting time into. And I think the hard thing for me is like, sometimes I feel like I have a little bit of a disordered perspective or a negative view of my physical body, of my physical appearance. And I think as a woman, or as anyone, but especially women, it's hard to have a positive or even sometimes neutral relationship with what you look like. And there's such a pressure on that, just the way that women are brought up so strongly to focus on their appearances. I think sometimes like people think that because someone is outwardly conventionally attractive, that they themselves feel that way on the inside, which is not always true. And like people who are physically attractive also struggle with confidence and self-assurance and just liking the way that they look. I think it sort of manifests in different ways at different parts of your life. Like we have all of these ideas around women aging and these expiry dates that we put on things, and like just so many timelines and constrictions that we correlate with our age. Like it's such an insane thing. We celebrate and idolize being young and like what it looks like outwardly. At the root of it, we want to be able to connect with other people over the things that deeply interest us and our heart. Obviously, you want to be known for who you are inside, but I think at the end of the day, like, it just makes me think of like Love is Blind sometimes, but you want to be able to connect over who you are and you want to lead with that. Sometimes it's like hard because I think we can lean on other qualities too. We sort of like pigeonhole people, but I think like it's so important, even like with niches and social media. I think it's really important to remember how multifaceted people are and how committed to growth and change people naturally are. Sometimes I'm like, oh well, I can't do that because I'm doing this, or like there is, obviously we only have so much time. And I think about this poem all the time, which is like, I can't remember what it is exactly, like word for word, but I remember this poem, and there's probably different variations of it and stuff, but it was like a poem about a fig tree, and it was like one fig was poetry, and one fig was an author, and one fig was like a veterinarian, or whatever it is, all of these aspirations. And basically like the premise of the poem was just like waiting for each of these possibilities and pondering the idea of each one and thinking about, oh, this would be so great, and where do I put my time, and just thinking about just each laneway of where life could go and where it could take you. And if you take this route, are you able to take the other one? Or if you take this direction, are you sacrificing the other direction? And like, it basically was just saying that the more you thought about it and the more you questioned things and the more you visualized and like idealized all these different areas that life could take you and that you could go and where you could invest your time, all of the figs started to like shrivel and prune up and die, and one by one they fell off the tree and landed on the ground. And I just like think that's such a visual representation of like, especially in your 20s or like wherever you are, you think like, I can't start now or it's too late, and like you're always thinking about what you should be doing. Like, I should be traveling the world, I should be going to school, I should be starting my business, I should be getting involved in the community or taking up hobbies. And like, I think that sometimes like we feel at a loss because we're not doing something that we feel like we should be doing. I was talking about this the other day too, is like, we have these like, oh, your 20s, you have to pack it all into your 20s, what you want to do. And that's the time to try and take risks and fuck around and find out, basically. And after that, that's when you settle down and you get married or you have kids. And like, I think it is important to question these constructs and where they came from and why we're putting so much risk and importance on our 20s and trying everything out, because I think there's a lot of presence of stress. I think it's like exceptionally hard. Like, I wouldn't be surprised the amount of people that lived through mental health crises or started to figure out more about themselves in that way. Whereas like a lot of people are taking non-traditional careers and being creative. And if you want to have a career later on, or if you want to try something new later on, I think it's a lot more socially acceptable to do that. People are able to explore a lot more. And I hope that it goes in a positive direction for people mentally. I hope people feel more connected to each other, and just like, I think it is good that we can go towards a direction where we have more community, and I think it's okay to have setbacks. It's okay if social media takes you backwards sometimes. I think it's good that we can move towards regulating that a lot more and making it so that it doesn't rob you of time, but gives you more in a sense. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that opens doors for people. I hope that allows people to be more creative and like connect with others who see them and like are passionate about the same things that they're passionate about. And I love meeting like interesting, talkative, fun, like lively people, because we feed off that. But I think like if you're not connecting with people right now, like that's okay. I think it's not something that can be forced. It can be encouraged, and you can like surround yourself with hobbies and go to events and try to put yourself out there, because that's hard for me. Like that does make me feel vulnerable. It does make me feel nervous, and I feel anxiety doing that. But I think I want to transition from coping mechanisms that I have that are unhealthy and like move forward to trying to give myself a more nourishing experience. But I think if we can move in the direction of just wanting something better for ourselves. Like when I meet people, they're able to connect in such unique ways. They all have something that's unique to them and their experience, and they've like touched so many areas. Even in your 20s, you have a lot of experience that other people are able to learn from, and vice versa, that you can learn from them. So I think, media is such a great way to do that. And if we can do that in a healthy way, that's even better. That's fantastic. To be able to do that, where we're able to access information or buy courses or learn things on our own at our own speed in our own way from someone who we trust, or like someone who we feel like we want to invest in that sort of relationship, whether it's just a course or information or whatever it is, mentorship, whatever. I think that's great that we can do that. And I'm just so open to like having more of that, learning something. And it's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I hope that I keep doing this. I think it is, obviously, if you practice something, a lot of it is like technicalities of like setting up the camera or setting up a media page, and like it takes a lot of like comfort and getting comfortable with certain things that you're like not sure about and that you have to learn and that you have to be a little bit frustrated with, but it's okay. And I hope I talk more about that. So I guess I'll see you in the next video.